So Senegal took on Morocco in the AFCON final in what I believe is the most clear display of corruption at high-level sports I think I've ever seen. So the day before the final, the Senegal national team arrived in Rabat, the place where they played the final, where they felt they didn't receive enough security, which is obviously a huge fucking risk. You are in the home country of the nation that you are about to play in the final. And then they were forced to practice at the same ground that the Moroccans had been using the whole tournament. Moroccans could have had people looking at them, looking at what they were doing. And then that doesn't even begin to talk about what happened during the game. The game for 90 minutes was pretty shit. Wasn't many opportunities, not very high level. Nobody trying to get open and get scored on. And then in the 91st minute, Senegal finally thought they had their breakthrough. They score a goal. But before celebrations could get too crazy, the referee fucking calls it back for a soft foul on Hakimi. He calls it before the ball goes into the net, so they can't even look back at VAR because the game is basically stopped before the play can even happen. And the Senegalese are very upset at this. I think they are right to feel upset. It's a very, very soft push. It's mostly both of them going at each other, and Hakimi falls off balance, and the Senegal player wins the header. Yeah, and then 6 minutes later, the referee calls a penalty in Morocco's favor. Brahim Diaz gets pulled in the box, which I do think is a penalty, but I think when you combine what happened a few minutes prior and honestly give a soft penalty in favor of Morocco, it's not the best look. After this, the Senegal team leave the pitch. They almost forfeit the match. They leave the pitch, which was honestly a disgraceful action. You cannot do that at the top level because then this kind of sets a precedent for other teams to do the same. They stay off for over 10 minutes, I believe it was. Then Sadio Mane, it's like straight out of a movie, goes back into the tunnel, calls them out, literally says, "We're going to take it like men, bro. Even if we lose, we're gonna lose like men, bro. We're gonna give the world what they want here." So Brahim Diaz steps up, what a lot of people thought was the man of the tournament, who had been balling out the whole tournament. He steps up to take this penalty, and he delivers what, in my opinion, is the worst penalty I have seen in professional football. Not just because it's not just a quality thing, bro. It's also just the moment that he does it, bro. He decides in the most important kick of his career, in the most important kick of Moroccan football in the past 60 years, he decides to Panenka it. Mendy barely fucking moves. He stays down the middle, and it is complete embarrassment for Brahim Diaz. It's so bad that people even had the opinion that he missed on purpose, and they had made like in this agreement that the Senegal team would come back if he agreed to miss the penalty. If you saw his reaction after the game, and if you saw how much he was begging to get that penalty, no fucking way would he agree to purposefully miss the most important kick in Morocco's history, bro. That's just not fucking happening. That's not who these athletes are. They are the most competitive people on the planet. They would not miss an opportunity like this just in fair play if you saw how both teams were acting. Then to add on, and I think this is the most egregious part of the whole game, it is the most ridiculous thing I think I have seen in professional football, at high level football. I've seen shit like this at low level nonsense, nobody cares shit. This is the final of the African Cup of Nations, bro. This is one of the most prestigious games on the fucking planet. Moroccan ball boys, this had been going on for the whole game, and this had gone on in the semifinal against Nigeria. Moroccan ball boys are going onto the pitch, onto the Senegal goal, and they are taking his towel, bro. Every now and then they take it. The Senegal players had already seen this happen to Nigeria in the semifinal. This has already become like widely known. So I think this is extra time. Senegal send a player over there, which is the second keeper for Senegal. They send over their second goalkeeper to protect the towel from the ball boys. Reminder, these ball boys should not even be on the pitch. Their only point is to get and retrieve balls. They should not be getting onto the pitch whatsoever. And these ball boys' response to the Senegal second goalkeeper defending his main goalkeeper's item, which is the towel, which he needs to wipe his face and to wipe his gloves so the ball doesn't slip. Their response to this is to literally assault him and wrestle him to the ground. And nobody does a thing. This is the most clear and obvious form of host nation favoring I think I have ever seen. I've seen bad calls. I've seen bad decisions. I've seen it all. I have never in my life seen host nation affiliated people literally wrestle a professional player to the ground over something that has nothing to do with them. They shouldn't have his towel regardless, and they're wrestling him to the ground over it. They wouldn't have the right to wrestle him to the ground over anything. They wouldn't have the right to touch him over anything, and they were literally wrestling him to the ground over something that they have no entitlement over. And nobody did anything. If you see, there's a video where the security is literally running. He's literally helping them. He's running at the Senegalese second goalkeeper instead of stopping the ball boys, bro. They are in cahoots. This is clearly a very planned thing by the Moroccans to do. Like, I don't think people understand how ridiculous this is, bro. People aren't talking about this enough. I've seen that they're gonna punish the Senegalese, the manager and the federation for walking off the pitch, which is very right. They should be. They should never ever walk off the pitch like that. That is a disgrace to football. You should not ever fucking do that. But what about the Moroccan ball boys literally gang assaulting a professional footballer, bro? You cannot do that. You cannot put your hands on these people, especially as fucking ball boys. There has to be some type of sanctioning, some type of thing to happen to this shit, because that is unacceptable, bro. You cannot do that. That is so fucking bizarre. I cannot believe that actually happened in my lifetime, bro. This is something you would hear about like fucking 60 years ago when there's no fucking camera. They did that shit in front of the whole fucking world, bro. They cannot get away with that unscathed. There has to be some type of punishment for these ball boys, for the association. Something has to happen. They cannot just let this go through, bro. But thankfully, I was with Morocco at the beginning of the tournament. Thankfully, Senegal, in I think his 108th minute, Papa Gueye scores what is probably one of the greatest goals I have ever fucking seen. The shit damn near seems like by accident. He fucking slips, and in what is one of the lowest quality finals I have ever seen, it is lit up by this one moment of brilliance, bro. And fucking deserved, bro. Because that shit wasn't right. The penalty, whatever. The shit that they were pulling there, the shit that they were doing before the game, the shit with the ball boys and the towel. I was with Morocco at the start of the tournament. What I saw in that final turned me completely against them, bro. And I was glad that Senegal went up ahead, bro. Senegal hold on for 12 minutes. They miss an open goal near the end as well. Morocco have a chance. Mendy is forced to make a great save. And they just aren't able to climb back into the game, and Senegal end up as AFCON champions against the odds. And sadly, the main thing that will come from this is not the football. It is the nonsense, bro. The Senegal fans, even before the penalty, right before the Brahim Diaz penalty was taken, were literally about to storm the fucking pitch. Then they saw that he missed the penalty, and they went back into their seats, bro. Like, it is so fucking bizarre. The whole thing is a complete mess. African football looked bad today, honestly. It did look bad. But I think justice was served here, bro. When you see what the Senegal players had to go against here, I do think the right team won. I think they do deserve it, not from a footballing aspect, but when you see everything that was just going against them, you couldn't help but just go and want them to win, bro. That was something there which I think was just unbelievable, bro. The shit with the ball boys literally assaulting a professional player, that is what put me over the edge, dude. I can never ever support some shit like that. That was the most clear and obvious form of a host nation abusing their power I have ever fucking seen in my lifetime. But yeah, dude, just African football as a whole just looked bad today on the world stage. It was complete and utter nonsense. And we'll see at the World Cup. We'll see if Morocco get any type of sanctions or anything in trouble, bro, because they should be. That was complete nonsense what they pulled there. The Senegalese will obviously, they will. The manager will get in trouble. Obviously, the federation will get in trouble. Yeah, it is what it is, bro. It's football. It's a very aggressive thing, but I do think things went the way they should have after what you saw what the Moroccans were trying to pull in the days leading up to the final and in the final. Honestly, bro, I respect the Senegal manager a bit. After the game, the Morocco coach came up to shake his hand. The Senegal coach shook his hand but didn't want to hug. He feels very passionate about this. He feels very strongly that they did him wrong. And the Moroccan coach like gets upset and tries to like talk to him and shit. The Senegal coach just says like fuck off, and he just goes out to celebrate. And then after the match, the Moroccan press, who are supposed to be, you know, they are Moroccan, you know, they will feel that kind of, they want Morocco to win, but in their profession they are supposed to be unbiased. And the Senegal coach, after the game, he tries to do his post match interview, and they begin these press people, these interviewers, they start to boo him. These journalists, they boo him, and he just walks out and he leaves and he doesn't do his post match interview. There's a video of the Senegalese running out of the stadium, like they're people are doing press and they're running out the stadium with the trophy, trying to make sure it doesn't get stolen. Which, if you see how the Moroccans were behaving and just how the whole tournament, the whole final was going, you cannot really fucking blame them for running away with it. Yeah, really, really fucking bizarre game, dude. Football, football is the craziest sport, bro. It can bring us together, but it can also tear us down. But man, I guess this is what we live for, right? But sadly, I do think there's going to be a lot of innocent people hurt by this. You've already heard stories of Moroccans in Senegal getting attacked, and Senegal people in Morocco getting attacked. It's a very just sad affair, and wish it could have just been football. Wish it could have been a better game. But yeah, this is what this final will be remembered for, and what AFCON will be known for the coming years until something new can be established.